Present.
Mr. Klein?
Here.
Mrs. Piela?
Here.
Mrs. Quackenbush? Here. Mr. Rosenberg?
Here.
Mr. Spindell?
Present.
Mrs. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Banta?
Here. Join me in the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Bayonne Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof, distributed to the persons on the approved list, posted in the Board of Education Administrative Office, and sent to the Bergen Record and the Community News. The announcement posting for the regular monthly meeting, along with the date, time, and place thereof, was distributed on January 11, 2016. The items to be discussed during the closed work session of meeting of February 26, 2016 may include personnel matters, student matters, labor matters, negotiations, and low grievances, tactics, and techniques utilized to protect the public safety and property. The results of these discussions will be made public as soon as possible. I have a motion to approve the minutes for the regular monthly meeting of January 21, the executive closed session January 21, and the work session of February 4, 2016.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Board comments? Mary?
Yeah, I was very honored last night to attend the first Social Studies National Honor Society induction ceremony at the high school. A lovely service, and of course you know that 92 students were inducted as the first official class. And it was a very nice. Sue Gons, who's our supervisor, welcomed everyone, and later on there were short remarks from Mr. Bonafide and Ms. Hayak, who were the volunteer advisors. So that was very nice, and of course, Jim McGuire. No, Bonafide, sorry. I mispronounced, the other night I mispronounced the name of somebody I worked with for years, so don't feel bad. And Jim made some remarks, and the Board of Education was thanked for all the support that we give to the high school and so forth. So it was a lovely ceremony, and I was very happy to represent the board.
Thank you. Anybody else? Joan?
Before this meeting, we were at the student dialogue meeting. A lot of things are happening in the high school. The water refill station is really working really well, but now they need a filter, which they're looking into that they're going to get. They have a lot of things going on. They're working on all of their dances that are coming up and their proms that are coming up. The Help and Hands Committee talked about the holiday party that they had with their secret Santas for the stepping stones and bridges, and they really loved doing that, and they said it was wonderful, and they even had a Polaroid picture taken of the kids in front of the Christmas tree, and the kids really loved it. And they also have Valentine's. For Valentine's Day, they gave them candy, and they also gave them goodie bags. And they're also working towards Autism Day, when they have Autism Day with the blue lights. But it just amazes me when I go to those meetings. The kids are really, the student government works really hard, and they're doing great things in the high school.
Thank you, Joan. Any board members?
Right here, Mark.
Oh, Mark, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm the liaison for the Community School Advisory Committee. I want to say that Mike Shansky is really doing a great job as the new director. There has been a problem over the past years of membership. He's trying to increase the membership at this point. His plan is to attend Rotary meetings, as well as to put articles in the shopper for new members. And he's trying to get the emails of other people so that they can increase the membership as well. He's going to be attending also the PTA meetings to try to increase more membership, as well as to give more information about the community school. The course offerings are now going to be done online rather than a mailing, which should save the Board of Ed a considerable amount of money. trying to have his own community school website established as well. So, once again, he's really taken the community school very seriously and really is trying to improve upon it.
So does he have a web person to do that, or is he use somebody?
I am assuming he's going to use from the Board of Ed.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'd say we probably have some rather than pay somebody outside. Okay, good, right, excellent. Anybody else? Okay, it's time for superintendent's comments. Mr. Watson.
Okay, thank you, and good evening, everybody. First, housekeeping announcement. We have a night crew working on windows, and the ladies' room is, I wouldn't go in there, there's no windows. So if you have to, a little chilly, and I think you'd have company. So if you need to use a restroom, you go all the way down to the end, and then make a right, and go all the way down into your first hallway on the left. Don't go out the doors, just make the left. There's a ladies' room right there. So it's a little walk, but this way you know where you can find it. In the packets for board members tonight, just a reminder, we have 3 versions of a school calendar for next year, A, B, and C. And when we get to it, the board will vote. My recommendation is you go A first. If it carries majority, you don't have to worry about B and C. But anyway, that's in your packets, and the board will vote on that. Also in the packet, all districts in the state of New Jersey receive the scores and its critical makeup of the park testing of last year as a district progress. And we did very well, by the way. I am going to share with the board in a PowerPoint, so hold on to your chairs. Not tonight. I have to put it together. I got all the data and I found it. It was pretty hard to find. I'll show Natalie it today, but it's pretty interesting stuff. You can see how well our kids did in the park testing compared to other districts in the state. So I will put that together for a future presentation, and I'm very proud of that and for the hard work that is done by our staff and obviously our students. However, one of the expectations under PARC, because it's a federal mandate, is that you have to have in all the subgroups, as you test, a minimum of 95% participation. Now, if you read the newspapers when it was announced a couple of weeks ago, you'd see districts around us had like 40% participation, etc. As a district. Our district surpassed 95%, which I'm very pleased with. However, a couple of areas we did not, and in your packet there are 2 corrective action plans which are on the board's agenda tonight to approve. I just want to, let me just get to this. I want here. So, as we are, like all districts taking this test, it's breaking out and reporting by scores and participation in subgroups, and they group them this way. First of all, there's a category called all students, which is the overall. Then they break it down to a report of all white students in the district, how did they perform, and how many, the percentage of white students who took the test. Black students, African American, Hispanic students, American Indian, Native American, Asian Pacific, Islander students, 2 or more races, if a student is classified to be a mix of 2 or more races, they have their own category, limited English proficiency, ELL students, etc., and then economically disadvantaged. So you have those measured by the amount that's reported who family cannot afford lunch, and they get either free or reduced lunch passes. So that's how we track economically disadvantaged students. So each one of those subgroups in every single school is required to have 95% test takers. All right, and then the district. So the district we did fine, all the schools. The high school, as in most high schools, did not have, they did fine with their scores. Scores were fine, but the 95% participation rate, they didn't make in a number of the subgroups. So Jim and Matt had to put a corrective action plan together. I'm gonna give you my corrective action plan once in a couple of seconds, because this is really absurd, but I'll tell you what. And the only other one we had is TJ. TJ did very well, except the economically disadvantaged did not hit 95, it was like 93.2 or whatever it was. So there are 2 corrective action plans. Now, let me explain what that means. First of all, this is a major, I'm going to say a mistake, there is other words, but a major mistake by the State Department. And the State Department came out and announced the rollout of park testing, which we did very well. We were very prepared for it, both with the training, the setup, and technology, no problem. What they said was, you're expected, school districts in New Jersey, you're expected to make sure all students sit and take it. However, we can't mandate that. So therefore, we're saying we don't approve any opt-outs or non-test takers. But if you have them, then we're going to give you a litany of subtests that you can use to score them on. Now, I don't know why or who came up with that idea, but it just, when you think about it, why not? First of all, there was no such thing as a student not taking the HESPA and graduating. Nobody opted out of the HESPA. It didn't happen. Okay, if you opt out of the HESPA, you don't graduate high school. So why all of a sudden now, a park, and if you don't take it, well, we'll give you all these other things. Instead of saying you're mandated to sit for park, if you don't sit for park, you don't graduate. But if you don't pass, then we'll let you take some of these subtests, into consideration. I don't know. I sent an email down, and I did get a response about 3 weeks later, and it wasn't a nice response. But anyway, I shared my frustration. I don't think that it takes a rocket scientist to figure out how to roll something out like that. But anyway, so board members, in your packet, you have the plans, and what it is just how are we going to increase, now it's not mandated, but how do we increase participation in those 2 schools, in those subcategories, in those sub-student groups? And that's what that plan is, that's all it is. So you can see what we did. And there are templates that the state gave us, which we're following, so we're going to approve it tonight, and I have to send them in. Yes?
If we don't meet those, there's
Nothing, there's no penalty. Because the district met it. So, as a district, we're fine, and there's no financial penalty against us. We're okay. At least for this year. I don't know what they're going to do next year. Okay, now, I have a number of comments that are kind of like bragging comments, so, bear with me, let me brag a little about our district. First of all, we have a congratulations to student Fan Lu, who earned a perfect score on the Physics League exam, which was administered in January. So, I love physics, it was my favorite science, and to have a perfect score on anything in physics, that's phenomenal.
I was going to say, I was going to wonder if you were going to say that you had a perfect score.
No, I didn't. No, I don't think so. So, all right, number 2, congratulations to Fairlawn High School chorus students, Bridget Maresca, 12th grade, and Sophie Corleone, 10th grade, who performed with the, and auditioned with the highly, auditioned and performed with the highly competitive North Jersey Region 1 choir, and they performed January 30th and 31st at Sparta High School. That's Mr. Marcella's old stomping ground. Both girls represented Fairlawn with pride and class. On Saturday, February 6th, Memorial Middle School placed 7th out of over 20 schools from Bergen and Hudson counties in, quote, math counts middle school competition. Of more than 250 participating students, 8th grade Andrew Karpavin placed 13th. Way to go, Memorial students, we wish them the best, but 8th place, which is excellent. Exciting news for Fairlawn High School sophomore Elias Rosenberg, audition for, pardon? No Rosenberg, no relation. Audition for the All-State Band with the on the alto clarinet. Elias ranked first among this group of highly qualified candidates as the #1 alto clarinetist in the state. How's that? Right? Fair Lawn student. And they're going to, matter of fact, just on February 20th, they did perform at the New Jersey Performing Arts. Thomas Jefferson Middle School, they hosted the first Bergen County Novice Debate League competition. Over 150 students from Tenafly and a few districts, Tenafly, Harrington Park, Closter, Walwick, Cresskill, and TJ, competed against the TJ debate team for 2.5 hours at TJ. We hosted it. Fair Lawn had 6 teams. They came in multiples. Fair Lawn had 6 teams. They had 6 varsity and JV judges from our Fair Lawn High School students who helped. Debate team club president Ari Bali was ranked in the top 7 amongst all the debaters, while Jonathan Golan, Nathan Tang were ranked amongst the top 10. The TJ debate team did a spectacular job in representing our school and making Fair Lawn community proud. We want to give a shout out to Coach Fina Stolen. And, without, by the way, all of these achievements had teachers. Scott Abaddon was involved with the client. You go back and you look, and it's all the teachers who are working with our students. So when a student wins, the teacher wins. Or when the teacher wins, the student wins. That's how we want to look at it. So we're proud of, obviously, our staff as well as the students. At a middle school, it's called AMTNJ Middle School Math Contest, Thomas Jefferson placed first overall against 31 other middle school teams. 8th grader Nathan Tang had the highest overall perfect score of 22 out of 22, while Suindram Dasgupta placed second, and team members Anna Shamus and Eric Tostin and Elaine Steinberg qualified in the top 5. Mr. Saccone and Donna Woodall are the advisors. Again, that's not too shabby, first place. So, we're doing some great things and a lot of great accomplishments. Congratulations to 8th grader Nathan Tang on being accepted into the North Jersey Region Band. Okay. TJ Cares, the TJ community came together. In fact, it's happening tonight. TJ community came together for a volleyball and clothing drive to support St. Jude's, one of my favorite charities, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital on Friday, February 12th. Students raised $3,500 in one day playing volleyball. Parents will be joining in this effort tonight. Today's the 25th, right?
Yeah.
Tonight, they're playing tonight in a volleyball game with their children. Thank you to the whole phys ed department over there at TJ who put this together and supported it. So there we go. Thomas Jefferson Middle School Character Education Club visited the Fair Lawn Senior Center in order to have breakfast, dance, and create a caring craft with our senior participants. Character Club advisors Mrs. Sharon Bragan and Mrs. Eileen Yeager, well, they're two lovely ladies, I know them very well, shared that a wonderful time was had by all. So there we are, reaching out and helping the community in many, many different ways. Okay, now just hang on a second, let me see if I had it yet. Yes, very happy, I sent this home in my update, we're very excited. Lindcrest Elementary School was the recipient of the High Performing Rewards School grant of $10,000 based on the attainment of their targets, their progress and growth targets from the State Department, and meeting various criteria, high performing, as well as doing this with a Title I banner around them. So that's absolutely outstanding. And the challenge is that we just found out about it. We received the check, right? Am I right? Yeah. Received the check. It has to be encumbered before June and spent before August 1st. Or August 1. So they do that, they give it to you, but they hope you don't know what you're doing. So we fool. We know what we're doing, so right, we got
The insurance commercial.
Almost
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Spending money.
Yeah.
By the way, one of how are we spending that? Right? People want to know. You got money, how you spend it? Okay, we'll tell you how we're spending it. Thanks to Natalie, our assistant superintendent, and her cronies who worked on this immediately. Yeah, the principal. All right. We are sending a number of our teachers for Orton Gillingham training and supplies. And so that school will have number, if not most, teachers trained in Orton Gillingham. And that was Natalie's idea, not mine, so I thank her for that, and she pulled in the principals to help, so that's a great idea. And we were able to set that up in time, so they can't have their money back.
And that's on the agenda tonight.
It's on the agenda here. All right, let's just see, I think that's it. Unless you want me to do some stand-up, I can do that.
We're on a nice power.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. All right, we got some retirement resolutions. S1, resolution regarding retirement of Donna Keppel, effective June 30, 2016. Jeff, would you like to read that?
Yes, let me get to it. Yes. Resolution regarding the retirement of Mrs. Donna Keppel, effective June 30th, 2016. Whereas Mrs. Donna Keppel, a dedicated and conscientious special education paraprofessional, has requested retirement at the end of the day on June 30th, 2016, and whereas Mrs. Keppel, during her tenure of employment, faithfully and conscientiously executed those duties for the children in her care with competence and devotion to the children, and has rendered a beneficial service to the special education department. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education extends its sincere appreciation for the many years of service rendered by Mrs. Donna Keppel and wishes for her good health and happiness in her retirement. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Board of Education be directed to spread this resolution in full upon the minutes, and that the Superintendent of Schools dispatch a copy of this resolution to Mrs. Donna Keppel, the paraprofessional, being so honored.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
S2, resolution regarding the retirement of Rosemary Megariotis, effective June 30, 2016. Mark, would you like to read that?
Yes. Whereas Ms. Rosemary Megariotis, a dedicated conscientious special education paraprofessional, has requested retirement at the end of the day on June 30th, 2016. And whereas Mrs. Megariotis, during her tenure of employment, faithfully and conscientiously executed those duties for the children in her care with competence and devotion to the children, and has rendered a beneficial service to the special education department. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education extends its sincere appreciation for the many years of service rendered by Mrs. Megariotis, and wishes for her good health and happiness in her retirement. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Board of Education be directed to spread this resolution in full upon the minutes, and that the Superintendent of Schools dispatch a copy of this resolution to Mrs. Rosemary Megariotis, paraprofessional, being so honored.
Thank you, Mark. S3, resolution regarding retirement of Daniel Panessa, effective June 30, 2016. Ron, would you like to read that?
Sure. Whereas Mr. Daniel Panessa, with more than 35 years of teaching experience, including 18 years at Fairlawn High School, has requested retirement, effective June 30, 2016. And whereas Mr. Daniel Panessa accomplished many goals during his years of devoted service as a teacher of graphic arts and culinary arts, as well as guidance counselor at Fairlawn High School. He also served as coordinator of the following: College Board Advanced Placement and Services with Disabilities Testing, PARC, PSAT, AccuPlacer, HESPA, Biology, EOC, giving so much of his energy to students in need of individually formulated programs to achieve their greatest potential. Whereas Mr. Daniel Panessa stimulated and influenced the intellectual, physical, emotional, and moral growth of his students, and assisted them in evaluating their inherent creative talents and special aptitudes for the purpose of making wise choices in future careers. Therefore, be it resolved that the Fairlawn Board of Education hereby publicly acknowledges the accomplishments of this distinguished administrator, who has been a source of encouragement and who has enriched the lives of numerous students and colleagues alike, and wishes for him many satisfying and rewarding years and his forthcoming retirement. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Board of Education be directed to spread this resolution in full upon the minutes, and that the Superintendent of Schools dispatch a copy of this resolution to Mr. Daniel Panessa, the educator being so honored.
Thank you. I have a motion for S1 through S3.
Second.
Comments, members of the board? Ron?
Well, I can speak for Daniel Panessa, Mr. Panessa, who my daughter had some dealings with, but also my son. But just what I seen the times that I was on the board, or I've been coming around the last 10 years, what this man has done. I still love that program that he started, where guiding you where you're going in your future to get to the right courses. You know, he just has a true dedication to helping the student try to find what they want to do for their career, which is, in all honesty, in a lot of schools you hear that the guys don't do as much as they did when I was in school. So you know, it's a loss. I know he has another opportunity to do something that he's excited about, and I just want to wish him nothing but luck, because I love dealing with Dan, and he was awesome. He really was.
Mary?
Ditto for Mr. Panessa. And two special education paraprofessionals. You know, I wish them all the luck in the world, because so many times they're the unsung heroes. The work that they have to do is difficult, it's challenging, and they do it with grace and with dedication and with deep concern for children who have some of the most severe issues and problems. So again, we thank them for their service as well. Wish them a very happy retirement.
Thank you, Mary. Any other board members? Members?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I don't know how many people know, we are the public school, we're the largest special ed public school district, K-12 district in Bergen County. And we were in a budget meeting the other night, special ed, and we have over 170 paras that work in this district. That's a lot of personnel. That's how large our program is. And every one of them, every day, like all other employees, really should be validated for the position they hold and what they do for children in this district. And we're very, very, very happy to wish those who've served us to have a healthy and a happy retirement, as I do for these two ladies. Dan Panessa, I know Dan very well, and everything in here is true in his resolution. Besides all of what you see here, Dan was quite creative with the slide presentations on various nights that we have, parent orientation nights and other things. So he's a talented and an accomplished chef. You know, so he's got a lot going for him, and all of those talents. And as Ron said, he does have other opportunities, and we wish him the best. And we'll miss him, because he does a lot at the high school. And now we have to find somebody that does a lot, you know, to put in place. So we'll have to get working on that. But Dan's great, and we wish him the best.
Thank you, Bruce.
Sure.
Any members of the audience want to say anything?
Well, you know, on behalf of the high school, MatCom, you know, we've worked, Jim and I, with Dan for many years. I've been here for 7 years now. As Dan's direct supervisor and colleague, I just have to say he's one of the most knowledgeable counselors I've ever worked with, especially about the college and career planning process for students, and a terrific testing coordinator, and he really cared about the students and placed a lot of effort on guiding them properly toward careers and courses that would be good for them while in high school and after their graduation. So he'll be very sorely missed. So it was a real honor to work with him.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone else?
Can I'll just say, you know, one of the things we tease Dan about it, that he has more titles than the public library. And if you listen to what's written in there, it's really, when you look at it's such a huge amount of responsibility that he's taken on for us. And every one of those things is something it's mandated. It's either mandated by the state, it's overseen by the state. There's reports we need to accomplish and get those in. And he's done all of that. So every one of those things is in there. He really is the guy behind all of that hard work. And as Bruce said, we've got some real big shoes to fill. So we're going to work hard to do that. But everybody at the high school wishes him well. He's really been You know, he's one of the cogs in the wheel that keeps us turning and keeps us, our graduates going to the schools that they go. He's a big part of that, so we appreciate all of his service.
Thank you. Anyone else? On behalf of the board, I'd like to wish the three of them a long, healthy, happy retirement. They worked hard, a lot of years, maybe some. I have all in favor of motion S1 through S3?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. S4, approval of Fairlawn High School baseball scholarship. S5, approval of Fairlawn High School co-ed varsity swimming scholarship. S6, approval of mid-year district goals. E1, attendance at conference convention workshop. E2, approval of instructional time for immigrant students, Title III immigrant. Is that the name, Title III immigrant?
It is, yeah.
Okay. E3, approval of compensation elementary school Title I academics. E4, approval of compensation basic skills kindergarten Title I. E5, approval of extracurricular trips. E6, approval of bedside home instruction. E7, approval of music enrichment programs, summer 2016. E8, approval of student teachers, interns, practicums, field observation placement. P1, approval of registration of... Oh, I'm sorry, E9. Approval acceptance of Title I funds in Lindquist Elementary School. Oh, that's what we just talked about. Yeah, better get that in there. P1, approval of resignation of certificated personnel 15-16 school year. P2, approval of certificated day-to-day substitutes bedside home instruction personnel 15-16. P3, salary adjustment to higher degree status and mid-year qualification 15-16. P4, approval of extra instructional time certificated personnel 15-16. P5, approval of non-certificated day-to-day substitutes 15-16. P6, approval of leave of absence without pay certificated personnel. I'm not saying the years again. P7, appointment of non-certificated personnel. P8, approval to change title certificated personnel. P9, approval of leave of absence without pay, non-certificated personnel. P10, approval of appointment of consultants. P11, appointment of community school personnel, summer 16. P12, approval to extend leave of absence without pay, child rearing certificated personnel. P13, approval of spring sports Schedule C positions. P14, approval of fall sports, 16-17. P15, approval of change in assignment non-certificated personnel. P16, approval of leave of absence without pay, child rearing certificated personnel. P17, approval to amend Schedule B positions, Memorial Middle School. I have a motion for all those motions.
Please,
So moved.
Assistant. Jeff.
Yeah, just on E5, my pleasure to always support any type of learning that is happening outside the classroom as well, to help our students make connections and have experiences that allow them to connect whatever they are learning in the classroom to expose to real life scenarios, and, you know, always happy to support those, so keep them coming. That's it.
Anybody else?
I think the dance is fine.
Well, yes, I do.
I know you always do.
But I always do. Which one is it? What's the number? It's about student teachers coming to work in Iowa.
E8.
And I always, E8, and I'm always so pleased that Fairlawn is open to accepting student teachers, because there's a student teacher in the room, once upon a time, who's now a principal. So I'm always so pleased to see that Fairlawn has such a wonderful staff, and then they welcome young people to learn and to grow with them. And that's good, because when I was out mentoring student teachers, when I worked at Montclair University, there were school districts that did not want student teachers, believe it or not. So they considered them an inconvenience. Well, so anyway, that's it. Kudos to Fairlawn.
Thank you. Mike?
Just to piggyback on Mary, you know, this day that we're in with all the evaluations that teachers this drawing model and everything else. It really takes a teacher, to really feel comfortable to take a student teacher on, because now it's affecting their time with the students and their time to get prepared for their own observations. So again, I'm going to say kudos to the teachers that volunteer to take these student teachers in, because it is a a noble thing to do.
Thank you, Mike. Any other board members? Elise?
I just wanted to thank the scholarship donators, because the kids really appreciate that. Night is so wonderful, and the kids really do appreciate it. Any help that they can get. So it's always nice to see that we keep encouraging people to give scholarships.
Mike?
I'm sorry, and P1, I would be remiss if I didn't say something. We're losing a really good school psychologist, and Dr. Hesney. And Dr. Hesney has been involved in so many different programs that we run, and I know he actually was my grandson's case manager, and I'm sorry to see him go. I hope he's going someplace where he's going to make more money,
He actually is leaving to take on a new role and grow in the field. So it's really a positive move for him, and we're happy to see that. We have so many people that came to us and over the years worked and left to become supervisors, subject supervisors, principals, vice principals, move into administration. That's what he's doing, moving into administration.
I wish him well, because he was involved in our extended school year and so much. So.
And he's a terrific guy.
Yeah.
Okay, members of the audience, any comments, questions on items?
No, I'm not
Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Barbarulo?
Yes.
Mrs. Frankel? Yes. Mr. Klein?
Yes.
Mrs. Piella?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Spindell?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace? Yes.
Yes. SE1, approval of tuition, transportation, special schools, providing regular special education. SE2, approval of bedside home instruction for classified students. SE3, approval of required related services for classified students. SE4, approval of new state cost per pupil tuition rates for receiving districts. F1, school use. F2, gifts, F3, discards. F4, bills payable, payroll. F5, bills payable. F6, transfers. F7, board secretary report January 16. F8, board treasury report January 16. F9, appointment of affirmative action officer. F10, approval to accept Board of Education Committee job description and responsibilities. F11, approval of withdrawal from capital reserve. F12, approval of buses, drivers for Borough of Fairlawn cleanup. F13, establishment of final tuition rates 14-15. F14, approval of 15-16 parental contracts for student transportation. F15, approval of joint transportation agreement, South Bergen Joint Commission. F16, approval of joint transportation agreement, Northwest Bergen Council Transportation Services Region 1. F17, approval of joint transportation agreement, River Edge Board of Education Region 5. F18, approval to transport school choice students. F19, approval of special ed situation busing. F20, settlement agreement. F21, resolution awarding bid for paving a new parking lot at West Millen Elementary School. F22, approval of contract with CapturePoint.com. F23, approval of contract with Chase Payment Tech. And addendum, can we do addendum one?
We gotta do that for the
Addendum two, A, approval of 1670 school calendar, approval, And B, approval of elementary and secondary assessment action plan, ESEA. How are we gonna do?
Okay, I was gonna say, why don't we make a recommendation, hold A,
Okay.
vote on everything else, come back to A, and then just vote on that separately.
Okay,
Because that's the count.
okay, so,
So then the 2A is.
2A, we'll do that separate, have a separate discussion on it. Okay, can I have a motion
So
for
moved.
Second.
board members' comments, questions? Mike?
A couple of things. First of all, acceptance of gifts, of course, anytime that people want to give us money, we appreciate it. So to get, as Mary always says, sorry Mary, to get grants, someone has to do the paperwork for the grants. So I assume that there's some teachers out there from TJ to get us the Exxon Mobil Education Alliance Program and the Inclusive Schools Climate Initiative grant for Radbourn. The one I'm really happy to see is C. I'm happy to see all of them, but C from the Radbourn PTA. It's been a long time that Radbourn PTA has been trying to get this playground. Hopefully, it's the next step of.
Downloaded the one earlier, it's not on my copy.
Hopefully, it's the next step in getting them their playground. So, congratulations on raising that much money so far, and good luck raising the rest. The other thing I wanted to comment on, just a reminder that like the buses that we're going to provide the town for the town cleanup, that's all part of our shared service committee initiatives where we do stuff with the town back and forth. Mr. Banta and I and Kurt Peluso, councilman, at the last New Jersey School Board Association's workshop, did a whole presentation, thank you. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. A whole presentation on our shared services relationship with the borough. And now they've asked us to actually do a podcast about Farallon's shared services with the borough of Farallon, because we are a model for the state. So so it's really great that we're able to do that for the town.
We're gonna be internet famous.
We're going to be internet famous, yes.
Like Daniel, yo Daniel.
We're gonna have the new lights.
Yes. Hopefully it will go viral.
Yes. We're always for it.
You're good.
Good job.
Actually, right after your presentation, I remember being out there and listening to the kudos that you were getting from school board members from around the state, and people when I was at the state meeting, there were people actually talking about it. So I think they're expecting an encore next October.
Yeah, I emailed you, we talked about that.
Okay, so I do have a question on F-20 settlement agreement. I'm curious, was that what we talked about last time? Or what am I
don't think so.
what am I voting for here? If you want to have to have
If
a
you
closed
want.
session
Yeah,
discussion.
you
we'll hold the
hold
closed
that
session.
for closed
Wait,
session.
thank
yeah.
you.
Okay. Ron?
No, I just wanted everybody to notice, if you notice, like all the busing that we have in here, that, I don't know if a lot of the public realize that we go to 57 different schools. We have to bus kids to, so that's why you see a lot of different types of contracts with other districts and so on and so forth. And our transportation director does a phenomenal job of making sure everybody gets to where they gotta go. So, I just wanted the public to kind of know that. And also brought in our budget under, like, down like 2%, which is awesome, so wanted to,
Any other board members? Members of the audience? Yes, sir.
What is CapturePoint.com? I think it's F-21.
I think it's a registration software that the community school is going to use to register straight online rather than through paper and so forth.
Thank you.
Anyone else? The roll call, please, except for A on addendum 2 and, what was that again? Okay.
Mr. Barbarola? Yes. Mrs. Frankel? Yes. Mr. Klein?
Yes, on everything, I, pretty sure I have to recuse myself from F19 because I stand to directly benefit from that. I recuse myself from F19 and everything else is yes.
Mrs. Viella?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes on everything, abstain on F1A.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Spindell?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes. Public comments. This is time you get to speak about any item, questions, comments. Just raise your hand, I'll recognize you, state your name for the tape.
Anybody want to sing?
Michelle Nappy. I just
Sure.
have a question. Are we going to see the different calendars that we're going to vote on?
Oh, yeah, right, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Do they have any out there for the public?
No.
Okay. Can we get the house? Yeah, you can get this.
The calendar? There's some out there. I mean, I can just explain quickly what it is. The difference between, it's a small difference between calendar A, B, and C. All right. So calendar A continues to include the full break in February. So you would have a winter break in December, which is normal. You would have a full break in February, and you would have a full spring break in April. With that, if the calendar goes through, we begin school on September 1st with teachers only, and September 2nd, Thursday, Friday, with teachers only. Students would come in on Tuesday the 6th, which is the day after Labor Day. Kindergarten will begin on Monday the 12th, because we're shooting for full-day kindergarten. Now come in on Monday the 12th, a week later. Graduation, last day of school, is Thursday, June 22nd. The calendar B, the big difference there is that we take the full week break in February and we skinny it down to just 3 days. With that, we move the graduation up to Wednesday, the 21st. We get out a day earlier, and we would give off, school will be closed 1 or 2 other days during the year for professional development and also for recognition of Martin Luther King Day, where it would be closed all day. Calendar C is the exact same calendar. This is a good question from the board. Calendar C is the exact same calendar as calendar B with the 3 days in February only. However, you would go back to graduating on the Thursday the 22nd, but you would get off January 2, which is the day after New Year's Day. And that's just the difference there. So, having said that, I will share with you that I've met with the Teachers Association. I thought the president is here, Mr. Couple. They prefer maintaining the February full week break. I've met with the Administrators Association as calendar, and they prefer keeping the full week break. I've met with our business administrator, and she prefers keeping the full week break because of what we do. So that's the emphasis. So what I would suggest is that you would vote on A calendar, first calendar, and if that majority passes, then you don't vote on the others. Or you can vote on C first, and if that passes, you don't have to, it's up to you.
Any comments from the board members on the various calendars?
No, then I guess I will. Every year we do this, every year I guess I'll just pull up my comments from the last 3 years. I think that it's time for the February break to go. I'm sorry that the other people don't agree with that, but there's just 6 weeks before that, 5 weeks before that, there's a full week off. There's an April break that's coming up. I think that there's good reason that we're one of the only school districts left that don't give a full February break. I believe the kids should be in school during that week, and the other days should be used as, again, as the administration would like, or make sure that we have Martin Luther King Day off. I understand the arguments that you clean the building out, people don't get colds, but I don't really see that there's any proof that actually keeps anyone healthier by having 5 days off instead of 3 days off. I think it's time to move on from that. And I'm just hoping that people agree, because there's no need, it's just not necessary to give kids another full week off. It's hard to get, for them to get to a flow with constant vacations. So that's what I got. What I would like to vote for is either B or C. I actually kind of wanted to, was watching Engage what the PTO and the parents have to say about that extra day, whether or not that, I'm trying to think as a parent, I mean, I am a parent, but whether or not that extra Monday is actually a burden on parents, especially those who have to work, or is it not a burden to have that extra Monday off, or kind of a pain?
Which Monday?
Between B and C, so I know that, I don't know if there's time left for public comments, if anyone.
Yeah, no, I skipped ahead by mistake. So.
But if, I certainly would like to hear feedback on that, on what the other parents think about that, because I only know what I feel as a parent. I'm only imposing my ideas on February break on everyone.
Well, let me just say, just with regard to the January 2nd day off in the city, I remember years ago, we had this same, I wouldn't say problem, the same situation. And the kids went to school on the 2nd, the parents stayed home. And many of the parents were very happy about it. They dropped the kids off at 8 o'clock, and they didn't have to worry about it. The parents had the whole day to themselves. I remember hearing that comment from more than the parents. Yeah. So that's just my little comment. But
yeah, I mean, I know that for me it would be difficult, but I don't know how it is for everyone else. I don't want to. So I was just curious as to.
Open it up to the floor and comments. Right now we're just talking about calendar. Oh, Mary has comments first.
Yeah, no, just point of clarification for the audience. No matter which calendar is chosen, the students still have to attend the same number of days. So, I mean, I know that this is not what Mr. Klein meant, but I wouldn't want to give the wrong impression that a week off in February is giving them more time off than is allowed, no matter what. And then the second thing is I'm for calendar red. That's all. Okay.
Right.
Just real quick, no matter what calendar we pick, there's gonna be people that like it and people that don't like it. It's like snow days and delayed openings and that. Some people are gonna be happy, some people are not gonna be happy, and it's all done to try and help everybody, have a more standard calendar. So I don't really have an opinion either way, so a fight in this.
Any other board members, comments? All right, members of the audience, would you like to speak about the various calendars? Just state your name for the record.
Lisa McClements, I'm the PTA president for Forest. I'm not a fan of February break either. I do come from a split household. My husband is in favor of it. But I personally think it's too close to Christmas break. I'll comment also on I don't know that the Martin Luther King is a full day in one as opposed to a half. I'm not sure why it was even a half.
Wait, I'm sorry, which day you talking about?
Martin Luther King.
It's always been a half day in this district.
I think it's on
Oh,
a
so
whole, is it a whole day option on one of these?
No, it's off on the other
Oh, it's
two
off.
options.
Okay.
One of the calendar, I think it's.
On A, it's a half day.
A, it's a half day.
It's off. Okay. And the only other comment I had, and I don't know, is January 2nd an observed holiday? People might have it off anyway.
Well, most people are gonna have it off.
Yeah, I think.
I will.
government-
So I'm not
Government's-
opposed.
It's not a mandate.
It's not a
mandated,
mandate.
but most governments like
Yeah, the-
giving that day off.
Post office is closed, the
So
courts are
a lot of people might
closed,
have it off anyway.
a lot of businesses are closed.
Right.
And that's why parents are happy the kids are going to school. Anything else? Any, yes.
I also have a comment, Mel Dershauer, parent, but Flace, co-president also. I feel like I get the whole week off is another interruption and whatever, but I feel that not even so much only for the children, but maybe for the teachers that like shut down, you know, a week and recharge your batteries and come back the week after, you're refreshed and you're ready to go again. And I think that speaks volumes, and I'm not a teacher. I have a lot of teachers in my family, and I know that they're all very jealous that our Fair Loan teachers have that shutdown period where they can, you know, take some time off, catch up on grades and lesson plans and all that stuff. So I'm for A.
Thank you. Anything else?
Can I make a comment on Michelle Anthony on A also? I work in an elementary school, and one of the things to remember in the winter months, we've had a very good winter, but on bad winter months, the kids are inside all day long, doing no outdoor recess, and you notice a difference when you're 6 weeks of not leaving the building. I mean, they have gym twice a week, which is great, and they do things, certain schools do things to help that out, but I notice a big difference between the kids the week before break and then the week they come back. The kids need a break from being in school all day. That's just my opinion.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other members of the audience?
Gene Couple, I second all the ones who agree with the February break. For their rationale and then some. But also, you know, as a teacher, I agree with you, it's needed, and several staff members say that. In terms of Martin Luther King, somebody mentioned that. And this year in TJ, we had a great opportunity to do something in honor of Dr. King and his efforts. And I'd like to say, and it was after that that I realized that I didn't know Fairlawn had a Facebook page, and Memorial has a great monopoly on it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would have been great had we done some things to really promote with the community. Not just the efforts of Martin Luther King, for it to be that educational opportunity, but also other global leaders who work in the same vein for equality. And it's something that we still see in today's day and age. You know, it's to have off just for the students to go shopping for a sale is not really teaching them about that. And we have an opportunity as an educational institution to really use that day, maybe as a day of service, to have, you know, those winter concerts where we could celebrate not only the legacy, but what we can do ourselves, even with the community. So it was something that I was very pleased that we were able to do in TJ. I'd like to see us continue that in the future as well. And also in terms of just the consistency of education, if their family's going away, they're going to go away anyway. And that disrupts the continuity when you have 3 or 4 students out, when you're trying to continue and then to try and catch them up. It does become a little bit more difficult.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Ron, do you have your hand up?
Yeah. I understand everything they're saying. The only thing, Michelle, I love you, we've been friends for years. But you know what? What is the difference between a child today than a child when I went to school? Because we had 1 day off, right? I had 1 day off, and you still went to school all that time. I'm not disagreeing with everybody's opinion.
You were deprived.
Excuse me?
You were deprived. I had a week.
Well, I didn't have a week. Okay, I went to Catholic school, but we didn't have a week.
That's right.
Okay? And I'm just saying is that we were stuck inside all the time too. You were never let outside with sons. And then bottom line was you stayed in school. So I just laugh when people say that to me. The kids need to get out. They're in the house half the time anyway in the cold. They don't even get out there playing video games.
All day and in school all day.
Kick their butt outside and go play in the snow and the cold like the rest of us did.
So what you want to push them to do the part there? Do you want them to be able to?
Mike?
One last comment, and it has nothing to do with February break. I'm going to go back down to Martin Luther King Day. And I've gone back and forth on Martin Luther King Day because I have had people actually contact me. When I was president, I had quite a few people contact me about being offended that the school was open on Martin Luther King Day, and I do understand. I understand the argument. I was thinking about it this year because I got an email again this year about it, and I have to agree with Mr. Kuffel. That I'm thinking now as a social studies teacher, and that everything I know about Dr. King, I think Dr. King would want us in school teaching about, teaching about civil rights, teaching about his legacy, because that's what he was all about. So I don't think that we should. If we're using the half a day of school, and I understand, and the reason it's a half a day is because we utilize it as a professional development day for the other half. If we have the half day of school and use it like we have been using it, at least I believe from everything I've told, there's all activities from Dr. King's birthday that I'm satisfied with having the half a day.
Thank you.
And thank you for saying.
Jeff?
I'm the one who said that we should have Martin Luther King off, so I'm just going to defend that, and I'm not going to disagree that King would most likely, perhaps, I mean, who knows, none of us knew Dr. King, we only read his speeches, but I think that having the day off is symbolic, regardless of the learning, and I agree that if that day is going to pass, and we're going to have students, then it should definitely be a day of service. But I think having the day off is still a symbolic show of respect, which is why other districts off, especially largely African American districts, will have it off as a day of respect. Not necessarily to go shopping or to play Xbox or anything like that, but again, you have the day off because you recognize it in that sort of vein. And it's the same reason that it's been made a holiday. Just it's a sign of respect to have it off. And there's no reason that students can't be doing the same thing the day before or the day after or the week before, and that it cannot be, and there's no reason it cannot be integrated into part of the curriculum. Another note, I understand why teachers would want that week off. I'm a teacher and I do not get that full week off. Suppose I would like to get it off. I get 2 days, but I find that the interruptions and the not being in school for this week and then being in school for the next week is really, it's difficult to really find the flow, and it's difficult for kids to keep finding a flow. There's a lot more work to be done than normal. The curriculum is deeper, it's more difficult. There's much larger stakes testing coming up after it, and kids should be in school. And again, those are my thoughts on that.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
I just, the kindergarten starting on the 12th, they don't need 180 days? Because it's not mandated, so but even if you have it, they don't need it anyway? Because I always thought that if you had it, then you had to follow the rules, so it doesn't matter. Okay, and the calendar that I want isn't here, because I'm for the Easter Monday thing, so I am not, sorry, I am, and I don't think we should have the full February break. I think it should be maybe 3 days there and then 3 days at the actual Easter time. I mean, that's, I've been a proponent of that for a long time, and I also actually think that, I love what we think we do on Martin Luther King Day, and clearly it's done in many of the classrooms. But I really think that it's time to have that day off.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna, it's 2A. We're gonna make that, can I have a motion for 2A for calendar A?
So moved.
Second. We've had all the discussion, so let's just have a vote. Roll call, please.
Mr. Barbarulo?
No.
Mrs. Frankel?
I'm gonna abstain.
Mr. Klein?
No.
Mrs. Piella?
Yes.
Ms. Quackenbush?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Spindell?
Yes.
Mrs. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Banter?
Yes. Okay, it's calendar A. Thank you. All right, now, any other items you'd like to discuss that are not on the agenda? Questions, comments? Just ask you to raise your hand, state your name, and you'll be called upon and you can speak. Yes, sir. I know David.
David Trevor. I just had a quick question about registration. I know kindergarten registration is being held up. Is the rest of registration also being held up? I have a friend who's looking to register their child for 6th grade and said that registration isn't open yet, or was told that by somebody.
It's a shocker on me. I mean, registration, when a child comes in, no matter what grade they're in, they just go and register.
Well, I mean, they're at a different school this year. They're looking to register for the fall. So maybe they're doing it wrong. It's possible. They just mentioned it to me. I said I was going to the board meeting Thursday. I'd find out.
They're not moving here?
No, they live here, but their child's got special needs at another school.
Right.
Looking to maybe come into middle school next
Well,
year.
if it's a child with special needs, I would say that they should come in and talk to the director of special ed before anybody gives them anything.
Okay.
And they can get some very good direction as to what to do, because that's different, that's a different case. If it's a gen ed student, then they can come in anytime if they have.
I guess they're looking to get evaluated to find
Yeah,
out
right,
if
right,
they can go
yes.
mainstream or not.
Correct.
So they should contact the director of special needs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They might have been given wrong information from
Could-
the doctor.
Could be, but that's the way to go.
Okay.
And yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Anyone else in the audience? Right. Okay, but old business? Members?
No.
New business?
Oh wait, I do have one old business.
Okay.
I'm sorry. How are we doing with the weather? Has the weather held up the building project at all?
Well, yes, it has. Well, I don't
Like,
think they
Are
worked
we
it
still
out.
on target?
I don't
No,
think.
I mean, are we?
We're still on target.
Thank you.
That was
That was the question.
That wasn't the question.
That was the question I was looking for.
And we're working on 2 foot snow, I don't know.
Yeah, torrential downpour.
Yeah, wow. But the
Okay.
window guys were working in the rain yesterday, just to let you know. They were in the pouring rain yesterday, so.
Lucky the window stayed in yesterday.
Okay, we're gonna go into closed session where we have student matter, what else we have? Special ed.
The item that we.
And the student, yeah.
No, there was an item that was last.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do meeting dates. All right, so the next public meeting is March 17th, St. Patty's Day. And then we need to find out about committee meetings.
Wedding announcement or engagement. Oh, that's
March, all right, do we need an education committee
nice.
meeting?
She's not until March. There's still one more that's not married yet, right?
Education?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, she's the one who has the baby. Which is good, that's helpful. Oh, yeah.
I've been looking to fill it out. I guess it might be, but,
She's still in the
no, thank you.
So, do you want an education?
I do. It's the
First Monday in March is the 7th.
It is?
Yes, it is. I thought the education budget meeting was.
What was,
But no, that's on March. Right.
Do you want to mix them?
You did your budget education.
No, no.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I think you did that.
No, we only have an ad hoc. Do
Oh, I didn't, then,
you want to mix them if we can get quorum for that?
yeah, you could do the ad hoc at 6:30 and the regular. If you have,
The reason why I said it, usually we bring people in to share with the board. Do we have enough time? I don't know what your topics are, but do we have enough time to prepare?
all right, so let's do this. You're gonna have,
The third? I don't know about that, I can't speak.
wait, you're talking about March 7th. Oh.
That's a Monday.
That's a Monday. That's gonna be the education budget meeting.
We already have a meeting for that.
Oh, March 3rd, okay.
March 3rd.
Okay, well, let's
There's
leave it at that
an
for now.
athletic committee budget meeting that's.
Right after that.
Okay, so they're not gonna be able to do it.
We won't drag people in.
No, we're not gonna be able to do it though. You're doing a budget, you're not gonna have two education meetings the same month. Now, we've already got a budget meeting which will be set up for what, Mike?
Next Thursday, the 3rd. It's ad hoc
Friday.
and then athletic committee.
All right.
Thank you.
Look, we can, in the March 17th meeting, if we need another education committee meeting, we can have later in the month. Okay. Otherwise, we don't wanna blow up, athletics. All right.
What are we doing on March 7th?
No, I was just picking the first
I didn't
one.
hear
Okay. Are there any other budget committee meetings that have to be held? Was that the last two?
I don't think we have to set them up because I thought they were all set
They're
up.
all set up.
They're all set up, okay.
I think those are the last
I
ones.
think that's our last.
Yeah.
Athletics is the last one.
Okay, you got education, athletics, and then that's it. And then we have a whole bunch of meeting dates without any interviews. So I don't think anything else can happen in March. Okay.
Can we just get that list?
What?
Our meeting dates, can we get that?
Yeah, she got it. It's in your mailbox.
And it was sent home by email. And
A couple of days ago. Lisa sent it out.
well, it also went home by paper, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right here.
Is this for her?
Okay, at least somebody has it. Get it.
It's in your mailbox. Oh, yeah, I haven't looked at it.
Could I just ask a question about that? It said amended schedule, but I couldn't figure out what had changed.
What
Did
now?
you figure out anything?
No. It wasn't really amended. It was just rearranged so that it flowed a little better, that's all. It wasn't amended, it was just rearranged because, oh, just so the public knows, that, what is it, March 9th is the public forum for the superintendent?
Yeah.
March 9th at 7:30 at the high school.
7 p.m. at the high school cafeteria.
It's going to be the search consultant, Alan Nunziato, who is New Jersey School Board, we've retained for the superintendent search, will be meeting with the public. So everybody's free to come.
I don't have that.
We're not.
Wait, I'm sorry, what was that? One more time?
High school cafeteria.
Want me to send it to you?
It's posted on our Facebook page, and I'm going to put it on as the forums.
It's been all over Facebook.
Okay. All right, just so everybody's clear, and everybody's invited, and, except, no, we're not invited, we're told to stay away. Okay.
Bring signs and candy.
All right, I think that was it, so, you know, motion for all in favor? Aye. All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
I admit, I'm a fan of the Swedish fish. Better knock on wood. I'm actually a bigger fan of $1,000 bars, Almond Joy. I don't normally like Coke. Yeah, whatever's on top of it. Anything with the ball.
My daughter does too. I used to play.
How about peanut butter cups? Doesn't everyone love peanut butter cups?
Have you been going back